Hello, welcome to my channel, Wing Spiritual Clarity. My name's Wendy Wing. I'm doing a daily psychic tarot reading for you, tuning into the day's energy, seeing what divine messages of guidance come through. For those of you who have asked, several of you have direct messaged me about the sale I have going on this week. It was for Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, but I extended it for the week since so many of you have taken advantage of it. It's a 90-minute reading for the price of the 50-minute reading. And the most questions I've gotten about this is, can I buy this now but use it sometime down the line? Yes, you can do that. If you want this reading, but somehow your schedule isn't, you don't have time right now, that would be a-okay. So anyway, let's get to the reading. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. If you would like a reading, you can sign up for one. There's the link in the description box, takes you right to my book online page. So a lot of different options there, not just the 90-minute psychic reading. So, all right, let's begin in the past. In the past, we have the Empress in reverse. Someone who's not abundant, not fertile, needy, dependent on someone else. There's a lack of nurturing, the neglect. There's neglect, abuse. Wow. Punishing behavior. This is someone who just criticizes, constantly able to pick out. It's like nitpicking. This energy can see something that's wrong very clearly, but has lost touch with joy and love and caring, because there's so much of this focus on what's not going right. And it looks like this creates just a mental prison, a nightmare, constant anxiety of seeing what's wrong. It is definitely a lens that this person looks through. It feels like it's hard to meet this person other than by complaining. I've been in this space for sure, and just everything is not going right, and it feels like it begins with an internal conflict, and then you just see everything, and then a practice of seeing what's wrong, of being very critical, highly critical, a lack of appreciation. Boy, that's interesting. Some cards are wanting to come out. Yeah. Feels like there's some type of secret that this energy is keeping. There's some type of, I'm getting deception. This could be self-deception for sure, or at least start there. Something this person's hiding. I feel like, oh, okay, I get it. When you or whoever is in this Empress in reverse energy that I'm describing, specifically this highly critical, neglectful energy, criticizing, it's not enough, it's too much, it's wrong, it's very much perfection pictures too. idealized, like you have to be perfect, and what's perfect. So you never, no one can ever hit the mark. And it feels like the secret is that this person is so separated and divided within, and so critical of themselves, and how painful this internal mindset is, this program that's been running, quite possibly handed down from a mother energy or a parent who also did this. So if this resonates, this could be how your mom viewed things, like just constantly criticizing. You could never do it right. And then you embodied that. And the secret is that you become so abhorrent to yourself from running these programs, but you can't have that inner dispute. So to make the space safe while running that program, you project your limitations onto others. You're constantly looking where they're messing up as a way to bolster your ego and make you feel better. I'm better than that. I'm doing that better than that person. So it's like a competition, and constantly judging and evaluating the rightness of the correctness, the enoughness, wow, it's a lot. It starts with an internal pattern that's practiced. Feels very difficult to get out of this way of thinking if it has momentum. Like if you've been this way for years or decades, it might just seem normal, that there's no other way of being. And quite possibly like attracts like, so you're around others who are doing the same thing, so it does seem normal. There's a lot of triangulation with this energy. Again, like you want closeness. You want someone to connect with. And it feels like the way this energy connects with others is when there's two of you, it's like we're in agreement that we're amazing. Now the two of us are going to do this activity to everybody else around us. We're going to keep us, that we're in agreement when we're together, that we're much better than everyone else. It's feeding our ego, and it's soothing ourselves that we're better, than that person, because this person did this and this, and so I feel superior. It gives me an ego boost, and it makes me feel close in connection with this person. But if I'm not with that person anymore and I'm with someone else, then there's no real loyalty. It's whoever you're with, that's the activity that you take part in. And so that triangulation is just brutal, because nobody's good enough, and everybody's afraid to leave the group, because then you're the one that will be the topic of conversation. There's a lot of insecurity here, and obviously just a very painful way of existing. All right. Whew. All right, in present time, we have Eight of Swords. So it looks like getting out of a mindset, quite possibly this type of mindset. I'm better than. I'm constantly needing to assess where I'm at, where others are at in comparison to me. I need to know, it looks like this program or programs, quite frankly, there's a lot of programs. Just briefly looking definitely around mindset, even a way of entertaining yourself, or just a new, or not a new, an old way of just an old operating system, just judging, just constantly everything in the environment is trying to judge and decide how good or how bad. It looks like it takes a lot of energy to run. There's some in the communication space, throat chakra, especially in the back. Looks like you're like gossipy, feminine side. There's a few others, but mostly it's a mindset. It's a way of viewing the world. There's definitely some of these programs in the heart space as well. If this is resonating for you and you would like to stop this way of being, certainly we could do a deprogramming session and shift this energy. It's like I'm giving up. I'm letting go. I'm who I am. Not for everybody, but there are those who appreciate. I'm not trying to be the best. I just want to be myself. I'm giving up this taxing way of being, of constantly needing to feel good enough in others' eyes and really my own eyes. I feel like this is showing up in your environment. How I feel like you're seeing yourself, how kind of toxic this behavior is. Somehow someone is showing up in your environment and it feels like you're conscious enough that you're like, oh yeah, I don't want to behave in that way. I'm seeing myself in the reflection of someone showing up poo-pooing others, wanting to talk about others, and it's this realization and a big shift and change in the energy when you no longer engage in this type of activity. It really helps with a division within, because that's really what it's about. It's parts of yourself that you have deemed acceptable and good by society, by your family, by your religion, by whatever mindsets that you have. And it's like I want to let go of this way of being, because I realize how destructive it is. There's something, it feels like this person is coming in, communicating a lot. It feels juicy, not gonna lie. Feels like this is like good gossip. But if you pass this gossip along, you now are consciously, you're not doing it unconsciously, you're consciously doing it. And I feel like there's this switch, this change. It's like I'm not gonna take the bait here. I'm just gonna let this go. and keep my focus on me and healing. Wow. There's something really juicy, some type of information that's coming in, or a lot, and it feels like there's a lot around it. And you could participate and go back into this, and it makes you feel good, better than someone else, someone maybe that you want to feel better than. But you don't take what I'm getting here is that you're not going to make the same choice. You are free to do whatever you want, though. You have freedom to do whatever you want. However, it does look like you focusing on yourself, taking it slowly. That feels really good. Feels slow and is not as sexy and as exciting. There is some type of energetic, emotional charge to having the dirt on someone. But maybe look at someone you feel justified to take down with your words, with spreading of information, and just look at it maybe karmically. Like, is this when I'm down, when someone who, would I want this if the tables were turned? I think you get what I'm saying here. But there's a lot of information coming in there. Okay. Messages from your higher self is the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. It's so interesting that we started with the Empress in reverse and now we're at the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. This is like pre-Empress energy. So I feel like we're kind of getting into a deeper level here, or a view perspective from a higher viewpoint around being dependent on others, around not feeling like you can go it alone, not wanting to be alone. What's interesting is that it feels like the initial belief system is, I want to be perfect so others can love me. I want, obviously something is very wrong with me. I keep messing up. This is like the child with the mother with this energy, projecting it at their child. You're not enough. You're not doing it right. You're too much. You're an obligation. You do it wrong all the time. You can never get it right. You always ruin things. Whatever, it feels like a lot that this mother projects their limitations onto their child and makes them feel bad for even existing, that they can't ever get it right. And then they pass that on as a gift. Here, now you get to enjoy this gift. So originally this came about like I want to be worthy of others' love, and I want to do it right, and I want to do the right things and say the right things, and I'm obviously falling so far short from that, and so I need to be aware of this. My mom keeps doing this for me. I need to internalize this so I can be aware of how I'm constantly messing up. And yeah, it's a lot there. Looks like this is coming up to be dealt with. When there's chaos in your environment, it looks like it might even trip this old trigger to go back into a critical mode of thinking, criticizing, trying to figure out who's to blame. Who can I blame for this? I'm getting that there's shame and guilt in this as well. A lot of shame and guilt. Because you can't be wrong. There was a underlying energies here around you're not allowed to be wrong. You can't mess up. There's a lack of compassion and grace and love and unconditional love. It's a very conditional way of loving someone. I love you if you're doing things correctly, and you rarely are doing things correctly in my eyes, so you're failing. There's some beliefs here around I'm not allowed to mess up. It triggers guilt and shame if I'm feeling off. And instead of just feeling off, I need to blame someone else. I need to find who can I Karen? Who can I blame for how I feel? That's also what your mom did. If this is resonating, whoever instilled this, boy, there's a lot here. Hopefully this is providing some clarity. It might be triggering, activating some programs so you can really find them and let them release. There's a lack of soul fulfillment. This is very unfulfilling way of being. It never will. You're never going to find perfection. That's the irony. You're never going to be fulfilled on a soul level because it's so much division internally and so much projection. It's creating a whole distorted world view. What's ironic, I'm getting that this person would be a great editor if they took that critical way of seeing it and used it in a way to, I'm very picky. I can see things very carefully. Some type of editing. That person would be amazing at that if they took that their special power and directed it in a healthy way and then healed the interpersonal connections. And wow. All right, your challenge is the wheel. I'm getting that if this has been resonating, that if you are getting triggered, if this energy is being activated in your space by someone coming in, this is being done for you, not to you. So you can see this and change it. You have divine guidance. You have the universe. It feels like the universe is at your back. I think the challenge here, what I'm getting is it's hard to perceive. It feels like hearing this, having this activated, kind of makes you feel like a victim or really guilty and shameful. Addressing that initial wounds. It's very dense emotions and very core issues. So it feels like it's clearing this energy feels like there's a lot of dense energies around these programs that are needing to come up to be acknowledged and felt and then released. Whew. All right. What's hidden is the Three of Wands in reverse. Something not moving forward. You're not moving forward towards something. A lack of passion, a lack of opportunity. There's something shifting, like a financial shift. Someone wants to be very generous. Someone wants to be very giving. Someone wants to spoil you. Someone wants to give very generously. Someone they've manifested you. They've manifested this connection. It feels like you are finding some connection that you're in. Feels newer. And there's difficulty. This person isn't really able to be generous and give to you because there's this critical energy. It's like if this is a friendship, it doesn't matter if it's a friendship or a relationship or whatever, even business. It feels like there's someone who wants to be very generous. They've manifested you, but you're having, or this connection's having difficulty moving forward because you might be constantly criticizing and projecting on like old ways of being onto this new connection or this new person. It's like I've got to find what's wrong here, which is coming from an insecurity you have within yourself, that you're not perfect. But I hate to break it to you, but you're not perfect. You've got great qualities about you that someone absolutely loves. They've manifested because you have these wonderful attributes and qualities. Feels like if I find where they're not perfect, I can reject them first. Yeah, there's some protection stuff going on here, and fear and insecurities. What's interesting is this person is very generous and very caring, and it triggers you to find what's wrong. You see that? Instead of appreciating, like, wow, this is really nice. I appreciate this. This is fantastic. This is what I've asked for. I love how this person treats me. I enjoy being spoiled. I love being treated well. This is really great. Instead of, that's where your mindset is. It's like, what's wrong with them? I think this is what's wrong with them. I think this is, so you're projecting, wow. That might not be happening for all of you, but it feels like there's something, you're ready to let this go. That's why it's coming up so loudly in this reading. All right. Your opportunity is the Hanged Man. A new perspective, a new way of seeing things, enlightenment. wonder what that new perspective is. I wonder if it has something to do with just accepting all parts of yourself and not being critical. Leaving an old way of being behind. It looks like you're also you have this new perspective and you have this opportunity to let go of that way of being. And honestly, anybody who partakes in that type of activity, it's like a toxic, addictive, it's an addiction. It's a mindset it's like a program. And when you're around someone who's constantly, that's their modus operandi, is that person did this and then oh my god, and then we all need to vent from time to time, and I'm not talking about that. Like, I need to process. Am I seeing this clearly about this person? That's very different. What I'm addressing in this whole reading is that chronic stuckness that I'm needing to make myself feel better by projecting my lack and fears onto others. It's no longer going to work. I feel like I don't want to be around people, who are, I as a former addict of constant criticism, if I'm in or around someone who's in that energy, I tend to match, like just acknowledging. I match their crown and dive right back into that energy. For some of you, that's a challenge to separate from people because there are a lot of these energies in your space. Might be like, that's how my whole family operates. Who am I going to talk to? There could be, just, you're welcome to talk about whatever you want to talk about. However, I'm not going to participate. That's my boundary. A rule is you're not allowed to criticize people around me, but a boundary is you're allowed to do whatever you want. However, I'm not going to participate in chronic bashing of others to make myself feel better. You could be honest like that, or just dip out, just kind of tune out or walk away if it's a group situation. I don't know. I'm curious how you'll deal with this. It really does look like an act of self-love. Loving all parts of yourself, not just the perfect parts, not just the parts that are acceptable to others. All right. Your possible outcome is the Page of Swords. I'm definitely learning something new, learning a new way of being. You see how her path got very narrow, and so she had to take special considerations as she's learning this new way of being. It's awkward. It isn't natural. You have to choose. I'm choosing this until the neural pathways are like, oh yeah, we don't criticize and triangulate anymore. It's really hurting me. It's not helping. It feels like a little awkward to begin with, this new way. And getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, feeling insecure, and addressing that, saying, wow, I'm feeling really insecure right now. Okay. I'm going to keep my insecurity. I'm going to work with it. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to talk to it. I'm going to allow it to be a part of my human experience. But whatever I do with my insecurities, I'm not going to make it someone else's problem anymore. And by creating that like conscious agreement with yourself, it looks like you really healed this mindset. So, wow, 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 wow. So that's your reading. I hope this was helpful. If you're still watching and this reading resonated for you, hit that like button that's right here. Don't forget to hit that like button. That lets me know that you heard me, you liked this, that I should keep doing these readings. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Where's that button? It's over here. Hit that subscribe button so you get more of these readings in your feed. If you haven't subscribed, I do weekly daily tarot readings on the weekends. The dailies are a finance and business reading and a love reading. And I also do weekly zodiacs. So, all right, that's your reading. Take care. Bye.